Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Unrest Uprising, which is an expansion for Unrest by Pandasaurus Games. This is going to be a two-player game here, and this is going to be the expansion for it. It's going to add you more content and more things to do in your game. This also adds a campaign. So in the original game, I really liked playing it multiple times. I'm going to like first person to 3 wins. Sort of thing. This one actually adds that to the base game, which that wasn't actually part of the base game. So this adds a campaign where you're going to be trying to be the first to win 3 games. And you get all these cool things that you get to do in addition to the base game. So let's go ahead down to the table here, and I'm going to show you what comes in this expansion and how it changes the game, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, so this is the Unrest Uprising expansion. The Uprising introduces a new gameplay twist for Rebellion and the Empire and plays over 3 to 5 games. In this, you're going to be trying to win 3 games in order to win the game. Now, each player takes on the role of the Rebellion or the Empire for the entire campaign. And the first player to win 3 of those games is going to claim victory. Uprising can be played in a single setting over multiple sessions, whatever you wish, and it plays between 1 to 2 hours, which the original game plays between 10 to 15 minutes. So this is a little bit more of an investment. However, this game is really easy to pick up where you left off. You'll just keep track in the bag here how many of these cards that you have gotten, which are you're only going to get these cards if you have won a game. But how does this work? Well, for setup, you're going to need 3 things out. You're going to need to have the Rebellion Enhancement deck, you're going to need to have the Empire Enhancement deck, and you need to have the Scenario deck. Now, different points of the Scenario deck, you might run into this new location here, which is the Monolith, or you can use some of these new Rebellion cards that can show up there too. But you're going to set these Rebellion wins and these Empire wins cards off to the side. You're only going to get those cards if you win a game to track how many you won. So you'll shuffle all 3 of these decks here and you'll set up the game like normal. For the first game, the Rebellion and Empire each draw 1 card from their respective enhancement deck. So I'm going to draw a card from here, and the way this is going to work is there is going to be several different types of enhancement cards that are available in this deck. Some like this here, where you raid, you get 2 times guess the suit and value of the hidden card in the district. If you're correct about either, reveal the card immediately. If you're correct about both the suit and the value, destroy the card immediately, which is pretty cool. So that's the ability I can get. Or I can get something like this here, which is going to be a setup alteration. So before I set up the game, normally this would happen. In addition to the normal survival action, when you surveil, choose a card at random from the rebel's hand. They must reveal the card to you and then return it to their hand. Place this card underneath the surveil token to show it has been upgraded. So that is pretty cool. So there's a lot of different cards in here. So for the first game, I will draw 1, and the Rebellion player will draw 1. They have some setup changes. Liberation pivot. When you liberate a district, you may move the lowest value revealed card from that district to an adjacent district before removing the liberated district from play. In cases of a tie, you can choose which one to move. So that's pretty powerful. Or they can have this setup card change here. So swap the misdirections with 2 broadcast cards, and those are these guys right here. And these broadcast cards, when this card is moved into a district, reveal it. The district and adjacent districts gain 4 power count towards this revolution. So these can be really powerful. So that's one of the things. You can get cards like this, which is a pamphlet distribution. Relocate 2 cards for moving them from one district to another, so long as doing so does not liberate the districts the cards are relocated to. So that's pretty powerful too. So for the first game, each player is going to get 1 of these. For the first game, you're not going to deal any scenario cards out at all. if it's past the first game, you're going to shuffle this up and deal out 2 scenario cards. You're going to give them to the player that lost, and they're going to pick one of these scenarios. So like here, Coordinated Rebellion. Deal 1 additional mission card at the start of the game. The rebels choose which 4 mission cards to use and discard the other. They may or may not include the revolution mission. All right, so that's pretty powerful. This one here, Tipping Point. Both players draw 1 additional enhancement card during setup. And there's a lot of these different cards here, so there's a lot of replayability there too. So after the first game on, you're going to be dealing out 2 of these scenario cards. And once a round is completed with that scenario card is placed in the bag that it gives you here. And it can't be used again in this campaign. So cleanup. After the end of each game and the campaign, place the following in the bag. Enhancement cards that were drawn by either player. So these guys right here. Scenario card that was used in the game. So this one here that was used. Those all go in the bag and they can't be used for the rest of the campaign. The Uprising campaign can be played in multiple sittings, or you can choose to continue on later. So all these, if you choose to continue on later, any of these Empire wins that you have would go into the bag to track how many you have. You'll take those out, just the win cards when you start again. And these ones will go in the box because they haven't been used yet and will be available at that point. That's how you're going to set it up if you're going to play it again in the future. And the campaign's going to end when someone wins their games. However, one of the cool things is in additional games, so as the game goes by, you're going to gain more of these cards here. And the way that's going to work is you're going to gain 1 card, and then you're going to gain an additional card for every win your opponent has. So if the setup is like this, the Empire's won 2, and the Rebellion's won 1. The Rebellion player is going to draw 3 cards, so just basically +1 the wins, and the Empire player is going to draw 2 of these cards to start the game, the next round. So that's how that works, and these actually grow as time goes by, and make the game even more exciting as it goes, because you don't know what cards they have, when they're going to play them, unless they're setup cards, and they're just going to come out immediately. Or some with ongoing effects. There are enhancements for some of the stuff that's there. So that's it. That's going to be how Unrest Uprising expansion affects the base game. Let's go ahead back up the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on Unrest Uprising expansion. All right, so that was Unrest Uprising expansion for Unrest. Now, component quality is amazing, just like the base game. I really appreciate card quality is really good. I don't think you ever really need to sleeve this game. I'm probably going to do it anyway because I just like sleeving games that go into my collection. So that gives you a little hint. I really like this. I don't normally add games to my collection, but Unrest is definitely going into it. It's a great 2-player game. I like games like Battle Line, so I'm already sort of like wavering towards this style of game. So you can keep that in mind. But if you're looking for an amazing 2-player game, Unrest is an amazing 2-player game. Now, do you need this expansion for Unrest? No. But if you play Unrest a lot, I would highly recommend checking out this expansion. It just adds more to it, adds more replayability to it. So if you play Unrest a lot, pick up the expansion. But I would probably see if you get that to a table a bit and then pick it up. It's not like an essential expansion, but it's a good expansion. And that's my thoughts on Unrest Uprising expansion. Thank you for watching.